It has been a beautiful week. I'm really glad that I went to Miami Life Center a second time, because I was just in such a different mind state this time than I was the first time. Like, the first time I was super stressed out over the pain I was experiencing in my back. Like, every upward facing dog hurt, like literally every single one. So if you know anything about Ashtanga yoga, you know I was in a lot of pain. And I was stressed over the studio, and I felt like I had so much to prove for so many different reasons. And so my mind, that's just to say that when I first came to Miami Life Center, my mind was like, woo, like it was like so many things I was thinking about, and so many things I felt like I needed to prove, and so many things I needed to like come here and like get my healing and blah blah blah, you know. Okay, so I went home and obviously had like a month and a half, like 6 weeks or so, closed the studio, decided I'm going to focus on the magazine, recorded tons of content, really started a sitting practice where I'm like literally just sit my ass down, and don't do asanas at times, and just do sitting, because that's what I realized I needed after I left Miami Life Center. I was like, okay, I need to like really calm myself and keep up this like pranayama practice that they taught me, keep up this meditation practice that they taught me, and like really just keep this going. So that's just to say that coming back now, this week, I was in a totally different headspace completely, because I no longer had the stress of the studio, and my back, like the pain that I was experiencing before, it's not even remotely close to that anymore. Like, I can't say that there's no, like, my spine is perfect and there's no misalignment whatsoever, everything is just angels and perfect. That's not true, you know, but I mean, like, the level of pain that I experienced before is like from a 10 to like a 1. Like, I mean, it's that stark for me. Like, that's my experience of practice. So when I'm practicing, I'm like feeling no pain anymore, and it's remarkable. And so this week, you know, I really got to like just enjoy practice. I just got to enjoy practice. And, you know, I was planning to see Sharat next week, but you guys, I'm sure, heard that like he wasn't able to make it because of visa issues. And so, you know, I was really bummed about that, but I was like, you know what, this is even, not saying it's better, you know, but it's like, it was good for me to practice this week with Kino and with Tim. And it was supposed to be Kino's week, but Tim came like the first couple of days, so it was actually cool. I got to practice with both of them this week, and it was good for me, I felt, because there were no expectations for my practice. I had no, like, you know, when I first planned to come, I was gonna come and, you know, get myself ready to see Sharat, you know, make sure that my primary series is perfect and all of that. But like with him not coming, then the practice really just is for myself. And so that was really beautiful, that there were no expectations or like, you know, anything. And so I would have probably practiced a lot more primary. I did primary the first day. And then I did like second series I worked on a little bit, and that was really cool. And just having the space and time to do that. And I did primary again Friday. I didn't realize I was like about to start my cycle, so I actually didn't practice today for a lead class. And they let me just kind of sit in the back, and I kind of just meditated a little bit and like watched a little bit. And it was nice to at least be a part of the group and to do the chant with them and be within that beautiful energy. And to even like really get to watch like some of the people, like, you know, there's some people in that room who like really I follow on Instagram and like, you know, and stuff. And so it's like, so it's cool to just kind of really watch them, you know, on some level, and like really be a fan and like root everybody on, like, oh my God, this is amazing to witness. Like, it's amazing to practice, and it's amazing to witness it and just watch like 100 people, maybe not 100, I don't know how many, but like, I mean, a room full of people pike up into a headstand, you know, and obviously you have people in all different levels, but to see so many people at a high level, it's just gorgeous. And handstanding and beautiful leg behind the head, and like there's so many things that I aspire to in that room. So to be able to just really watch them perform with such grace and like poise, I wouldn't say ease, you know, because I don't know how it feels for them to do it, but to witness the beauty of it it's just inspiring. And so I'm just really glad that even though I didn't get to practice asanas today, that I practice in my own way. You know, I practice through sitting and through breathing, and through just, you know, I guess being that, like, kind of having that Purusha within me, being able to just witness and be present. And I'm realizing that part of, you know, yoga practice, like, I know we jump around a lot in Ashtanga, and, like, you know, there's so many other methods of yoga, but, like, right now in my practice, I'm really learning the art of sitting, of simply being present, of having the breath, and that's it, and not having to do, right? The art of just sitting and not doing, or the art of just existing and being, as opposed to having to feel like I have to constantly, like, I used to, and I'm not saying this was, I used to, like, a long time ago. I mean, like, I used to, like, when I first came to Miami Life Center in February, a couple months ago, I felt like I had this, like, incessantly agitated energy that felt like it always needed to be doing something. Like, what am I doing next? What do I need to do? I need to do something. I need to always be busy. I'm not doing anything. Oh, I need to be on the computer. I have to be calling somebody about this. Or, like, there was always, but it was like, it was always feeling like things were not finished, or always feeling like things were not quite done yet. And, like, I always had to, like, there was some agitation about it that, like, is really gone. And it continues to, like, decrease every day. So it's not like I don't do things. Like, I continue to work on the magazine. I continue to work on the website all week. I met with a few people this week, you know, so it was a productive week, but it was, like, productive, I would say, even more so because it had that lack of agitated, weird energy that I just really didn't know that I was so, like, on 10 with my stress level and my agitation, until it started to dissipate, and it went to a 7, and then to a 5, and then to a 3, and then I'm like, yo, my stress level is at, like, a 1, and this feels great, you know. And even, like, the practice, realizing, like, something that Tim told me, like, one of the, like, it was like the last week I was here earlier this year, he was like, you know, we would do these hour-long pranayamas, and he was like, you are just so, like, saying that my breath wasn't steady, that I would be shaking, you know, in my practice, in simple poses like Janu Shirshasana A, where you're just, like, one leg is in, one leg is straight, and you just lean forward. That posture is very simple for me. I have a pretty good forward fold. My hamstrings are pretty mobile, and my back is pretty mobile at this point. So, like, a forward fold, like, I can get my chin to my leg. So he's like, there's no reason for you to be breathing heavily and to be shaking in a posture like that. That's coming from your mind. That's coming from some type of stress or something that you're holding on to that's making you hold on so tightly in a pose that's not required. And so he was saying, like, pretend like you're in pranayama class. Like, pretend, like, find that long, calm breath and, like, let yourself drop into that place of a very relaxed state. And for some reason, it was so hard for me to find that until really, like, he really broke that down for me. And I was like, yo, you're right. I'm practicing, like, on, like, unnecessary, like, so, like, I'm, like, adding something extra that's not even required here from myself. And once I let that go, it's like the practice is so much easier and pleasurable on some level. Like, you don't do it just for the pleasure of it, but it's so much more enjoyable when I'm not holding on so tightly to the ego of performing or the pressure of, like, having to prove myself. It's just like I'm practicing because on this inhale, I'm inhaling, and on this exhale, I'm exhaling, and that's it. You know, it's like, what is the next breath? And that's it. Or what is the feeling that I'm having in this posture? Oh, I have a sensation here. Okay. You know, and it's like, I can sit with that as opposed to whatever else was swirling this agitation that's just really decreasing so much. And so I'm just, like, really grateful and happy that I was able to come back a second time. And, like, I really, at this point, I'm like, I'm gonna keep coming back. Like, I'll be back definitely again this summer. I think a week at a time is sustainable for me right now, like, for my lifestyle. I think this is sustainable, and I think it almost feels like like, it just feels like it nourishes my spirit in something, like, in a way that I really, really need it, and really, really, I feel so at home there, and, like, I already feel like I have friends there, and I have, you know, I have teachers, like, Kino and Tim are really, like, for having thousands of students, like, I just can only imagine the number of people that they've taught over the years. and they still have this like individualized approach with every single person. I'm literally not talking about myself, even though I am one of those people. They treat me like they know me, and I'm like, you must have like thousands of people that you know, and you make every single person feel like when you're with them, like when I'm with them, I feel like they totally see me, that they're really listening to me. And I can tell that that's across the board, that like they make everyone feel that way. And I'm just like, how do you remember people's bodies and where they're at in their practice, and yet somehow they do? Like, I'm just like, wow. So it just feels good to have teachers that, even though I'm not with them all the time, that I feel are attentive to me when I'm there, and who I can keep progressing with the practice with. You know, that is a huge relief for me, to be honest, and it feels great just to have made that connection. And so it was just a beautiful week. That's all I have to say. Like, it was super relaxed. Like I said, I just worked on the magazine, met with a couple of people, worked on my website. You know, obviously did a lot of writing and graphic stuff, and just like feeling the energy, letting this beautiful energy sink in, and I'm just really grateful. Like, I'm just really, really grateful for my life. Like, I have moments when I'm like stressed out and feeling down on myself. I guess everybody does. Like, I had a day like that the other day, and but ultimately I'm really, wow. I'm proud of myself, one, for continuing to practice Ashtanga yoga. Like, not just practice things. I do practice other things besides Ashtanga yoga, to be honest. At this point, I do practice like some Kundalini stuff. I've learned some Qigong stuff. And some of that is really helpful for me, I think, to incorporate. But at the end of the day, I'm at 5 years of Ashtanga practice most days. And so, at one point, I had a very dedicated 6-day-a-week practice, and that was for really a solid 4 years. I did that, and so it's Ashtanga is deep within my spirit at this point. And so I'm just really proud of myself for not giving up, and for continuing to practice, and for continuing to like try and put the effort to come here, and just everything, And I'm just really grateful for just where I'm at, and that the progress, like, that I've, how do I say it? That the effort that I've put in really is meaningful, and it feels good to be like 5 years into something, and to like ask the question, like, was it worth it? Like, was it worth it? All those days I got up early, was it worth it? All those practices? And it's like 100% I can say yes. 100,000% it was worth it. Was it hard? Yes. Was it physically demanding? Yes. Did it mentally like make me feel like, woo, yeah, all of that, crying and like coming to terms with myself and all of that, but so worth it. And, the seeds that you plant really do yield fruit over time, and the tree that begins to grow, it takes time. You put a seed in there, it takes a while for it to sprout. Once it sprouts, it takes a while for it to bear fruit. Once it even bears fruit, it takes a while for it to be rooted and to be a really big, strong tree, And I'm remembering that, I'm 5 years in, so like I'm looking forward to like my practice 5 years from now, when I can say I've been doing this for 10 years and I've had a dedicated yoga practice for 10 years. And I look forward to that time. And so, thinking about how much my little tree has grown now, I'm really excited to see, like, okay, if I continue to put in this effort and this level of work, now my practice is different. I've incorporated new things, so it's not just asanas now. Now I've learned to meditate. I've learned how to do breath work and stuff. And so it's just going to be really exciting to see where the next 5 years go and take me. And so I'm just really like coming to a place of inner peace. Like, and that is just the realest thing I can say. That the incessant fluctuations of my mind are continuing to relax. And the samskaras, which I would say are like the habits, are increasingly becoming clear to me. Like, my habits, my ways of being in the world are just becoming more and more clear. And I'm not saying that I've gotten rid of the samskaras, or I've gotten rid of any of the thoughts. I still think stuff. I still have stuff to deal with. But it's just becoming clear that I can see it, and it's becoming calm so that it's almost like if you look at like water or like something where it's just turbulent, you know, it's turbulent, and then it calms down, and it's like, oh, now it's still, now I can ride a boat down it, or now, you know, I can see farther because the storm is gone, you know, and it's just like that way. And so I just feel like I'm in a really good place, and I'm really grateful for my new yoga family at Miami Life Center. And so I guess that's all I have right now. I'm gonna keep driving, and as always, I love you guys so much, and I will be back in Atlanta. I'll be kind of you know, in a few different places, so catch me while I'm in Atlanta. I'm also starting to do private lessons and stuff, so if you guys need me, I'm still available. I'm just not in Atlanta as 100% of the time as I was before, but I'm still available to anybody who needs me. So if you ever want to send me a message or take a, you know, have a one-on-one session or do an event or whatever, I am still here. And so with that, I'm going to focus on driving. I love you guys so much, and I will see you later. Peace and pineapples.